What's up, guys? Welcome to the Dreamlands, and we are back with some more Deserts of Kharak multiplayer action. Today we're taking a look at a 1v1 versus two very good players. We've got Tren versus Joran, and this is going to be on a very interesting map, Firebase Kriil, and it's going to be a very interesting matchup. We're going to have a Soban versus Coalition. Now, if you've seen my faction overview series, you'll know that the Soban are basically a coalition sub-faction. However, their playstyle differs quite a bit, so hopefully we'll be able to see some pretty cool combat scenarios showcasing the differences between the two factions. Let's jump right in. Spawning in the south side of the map, we have Joran playing as the red and black coalition.
Prep for mobilization.
Spawning in the north side of the map, pardon me, we have Tren playing as the red and yellow Soban. As these players get their starting strategies up and running, I want to take a look at the map for a second. This is a very, very cool map. It's called Firebase Kriil, and it is an abandoned coalition military base in the desert. So as you can see, there's a lot of these fortified positions throughout the map. Now in the very center, pardon me, we have this, this fortress here. You can move your units through the middle of the map, through this terrain feature, and these huge walls here block line of sight, so it gives you kind of like a safe path to move through the center. You can't be fired upon from either side, and on either side of this terrain feature we have these raised areas, kind of these fortified positions. Now these give you a very, very strong map presence. If you're able to position your units and defensive structures on top of here, they will cover this entire area, making it very difficult for units to move through the low ground here.
Base runner responding.
And it's kind of the same on both sides. You have these kind of hills, these rocky formations here, and they work in very much the same way, allowing you to position your units on top and cover all of this low ground. Now let's take a look at what both of our players are doing. It seems like Tren is being pretty aggressive. He's gone for a lot of early LAVs, sending them into the field, wants to probably gain some early map presence, early map control, and grab the early artifact, giving him the lead. Now he's starting to lay on some serious pressure here, but Joran wisely has brought his base runner up onto this fortified position, and he's placing a turret. Now this is really, really good placement. I really like this. This is going to cover this entire area here, and it's going to make it completely impossible for Tren to move his units through this lower ground path here. And if he wants to get this turret, he has to come all the way up here and attack it, so this is really nice. But Tren's looking pretty good with this pressure here. He's got a lot of LAVs on the field. He's definitely going to pick up a salvager. And it looks like Joran has decided to go for a little bit more of an economic opener, trying to secure himself an early second mining site. And he's gone directly for AAVs. So again, Joran looking pretty good. I really like this. This is successfully going to push off this LAV harassment. And with these two AAVs, protecting this site, and this turret protecting this path, he is looking in a pretty good spot here. Now, if he wants to, he can probably take advantage of this opportunity, because Tren has invested heavily in these LAVs, and he's not going to have an answer just yet for these AAVs. And that looks to be exactly what Joran's doing. He's sending his AAVs out across the field. He's sending his base runner up here, and it looks like he's going to try and put another turret up on this location. If he's successful with this, this is totally going to shut down this base. Tren is not going to be able to mine from this until he deals with this. But Tren spots it, and he's got his LAVs in perfect position. Now the turret's down, but Tren is able to focus fire it down. Very nice. He's able to deal with that. That would have been a severe pain in his ass if he let that go down. But it looks like he's definitely going to clean that up and get this base runner to boot. So Tren looking pretty good. On the back of all of these engagements, he's picked up an artifact. He's going to deliver it. That is going to give him a nice, comfortable 1-0 lead.
Combat alert. Support
but now he's in trouble, I think, here. There are 5 AAVs moving across the field, and Tren does not really have an answer to this. He's going to need to get out some railguns pretty quickly here. Now a nice smoke shot, this covers both of these ALMs, and they won't be able to fire on him, and he's going to be doing some pretty good damage here if he can just find the right positioning. But Tren with some good positioning on his armed logistics modules. I'll just refer to them as ALMs, much easier than saying armed logistics module every single time. So his ALMs are in pretty good positioning here. That's going to cover this entire spot, and if he can just hide his units in here, buying himself the time to get these railguns on the field, which he now has, this is exactly what you want to see. He can just plop his railguns right along this hill, and they'll be able to push these AVs off the field. But again, nice smoke positioning here from Joran, preventing these ALMs and the railguns from firing on him. He's going to have to pull back with his AAVs, I think, now. But he was successful in slowing Tren down. Now it looks like both players have stabilized a bit. They're both mining off of 2 resource locations. And we have a composition of LAVs and railguns for Tren, and LAVs and AAVs for Joran. So pretty nice. It looks like Joran is going to just try and push in here, and that was not a good idea. Now, all of his AAVs are totally going to get cleaned up. But it looks like he's moving around for a flank with these LAVs. Now Tren wants to get these railguns out of position here. This number of LAVs can clean up all 3 of these railguns really quickly. Now Tren spots it, he's moving his LAVs to protect his railguns, and his railguns back across the dune to keep them out of fire. Tren has a lot of ALMs here placed out, and this is nice positioning here. You see how they cover this entire dune here. So this is going to prevent Joran from coming over top of this dune and assaulting any of his units.
Light attack vehicle in service.
See, Tren's got his base runner still hidden over here. Looks like he's going to start moving it back around. He probably wants to grab another artifact.
Armor vehicle taking effective fire. Confirmed.
And we'll see what kind of tech each player will decide to transition into. Both players looking pretty strong, pretty even.
We have insufficient CUs.
We've got Joran's got railguns out on the field now, so both players look to have LAV railgun as their chosen tech path for now.
Prep for displacement.
Railgun operational.
New heading. We've got hostile on set.
Now the, as I mentioned before, the Soban railguns will have a higher rate of fire, and they actually also have 1 additional armor, which helps them kind of stay in the fight for longer, because you want to have your railguns survive, as they will provide greater DPS over a period of time. But Tren is in a bit of trouble here. We've got a successful assault going by Joran with these LAVs, and he is picking off railguns. This is really nice. Well, he managed to get 1, and he's done a substantial amount of damage. Tren's entire force here is looking pretty weak. But Tren was able to hold that off. A single ALM here, supporting all of these units. It was pretty nice engagement for Tren. Now he needs to get his units back here. Good, he's built a support cruiser. Now this support cruiser is going to allow him to mine more efficiently off of this location here, and it's also going to heal up all these units. So Tren's brought his units back to his support cruiser. He's healing them up. This is a very nice move.
Armor moving out.
And Joran is continuing to long haul resources from this spot, and he's streaming out units onto the map. I think he really kind of wants to push Tren in, keep Tren
Eyes open out there.
boxed in here. He's got a couple LAVs coming around to the back, and a lot of AAVs and rails. This is a nice composition. It's pretty safe. You can have your railguns sit back and fire on the enemy, and your AAVs sitting back with your railguns, protecting them from LAVs. So they spot this base runner, and they're going to try and take it down here. And it looks like Joran is going to try and make another attempt at securing this fortified position here. If he can get this secured, this is going to totally shut this down. And you'll see on this map, a lot of the fighting revolves around trying to secure these high ground spots because they're very dominant. Now, Joran's railguns are completely unprotected, and Tren is going for a flank, and he's going to make it. Joran's bringing his AAVs up to protect his railguns, and I think maybe a misclick from Tren here. He's going to get 1 railgun, but the rest of this is going to get cleaned up. And now Tren has missile ships on the field. So I guess this is dual purpose. They have the mortar shot, as you saw there, so that's going to help him try and dislodge these units from the high ground and cover him from any possible air. Now Joran's looking pretty strong here. He's still got rails up on the high ground. He's got his AAVs protecting these rails, and this is starting to be a bit of a pain for Tren to deal with here. Although I feel like Tren forgot about his base runner. If he wanted, he could bring his base runner up here and deploy the target jammer right into this position to prevent these units from firing.
Armor vehicle taking effective fire. We got a railgun under fire.
But Tren's continuing to produce railguns, LAVs. He now has 2 support cruisers, so I like this. This is going to allow him to keep these units in action for much longer, and then if he's able to just take this engagement, he can then immediately expand to his 3rd resource site. Joran now has a support cruiser on the field. It looks like Tren is just getting a bit of momentum. He was able to clean this force up, and now he's going to look in a pretty dominant position. These railguns are making absolutely short work of these AAVs.
Reposition. On our way.
Oh, is he going to go for another artifact? I feel like when he cleans this up, he'll probably go for another artifact. Because he's looking in a very good spot. What kind of tech is Tren gonna, or is Joran gonna go for? Joran's now mining off of his 2nd resource location at full efficiency with his support cruiser placed there.
We're up and running.
Joran's getting the Meg Accelerator upgrade for his railguns to increase their range. So it looks like both players are just going to stick with your basic composition of LAVs, AAVs, and railguns for the time being. Tren's got a couple of missile ships on the field, and it looks like he feels pretty confident. He wants to push out. He's going for a 2nd artifact. Now Joran spots this. He probably wants to shut this down, but that is not going to happen. There are just 2 new railguns on the field. This force here is definitely going to clean this up. Where are they going to get it? Tren needs to deploy the target jammer like right now.
Get us underway. Green line confirmed.
But yeah, keeps the base runner in play. And now he's going in for blood. Tren knows that he has the advantage in terms of units.
Strike craft destroyed.
But again, both players are looking pretty even here.
Visual unconfirmed.
Nice dodge by Joran. Able to totally dodge those mortar shots.
Light attack vehicle is under fire.
But I like this railgun positioning here. You've got your missile batteries up front, which are actually quite resilient. They have a lot of hit points, a lot of armor. And then he has all of his railguns back here. And these railguns can shoot very far, as you can see.
Deploy smoke.
So nice positioning here. Again, Joran comes with the smoke to try and prevent these railguns from firing. A couple mortar shots. Big mortar shots. Very nicely done.
Alert. Railgun down.
Those are actually quite good at railguns due to the fact that railguns have pretty low armor and low hit points. So if you can land a couple mortar shots, that's actually really, really good. Now Tren, I feel like Tren is just slowly pushing forward here. He's got that momentum going, and every little advantage that he can eke out is it's definitely going to work in his favor. He just needs to keep slowly going forward. Another couple of really nice mortar shots here. I like this.
Capacity has been enhanced.
So on the back of that, Tren looking really strong. Some good play here. Slowly pushing forward with his units. And he's gone for a 2nd artifact here. And he has a lot of railguns on the field. I don't think, in this situation, you don't want to just stream your units in like this 2 by 2. That allows your opponent to just sit here with his superior numbers and pick off units 1 by 1, 2 by 2 as they stream in. What he wants to do is probably just rally his units up here. Joran, of course, is who I'm referring to. Joran wants to just rally his units up here, kind of secure this location. He's already got a turret here. If he can get all of his railguns up here, that is going to prevent Tren from really pushing forward with this force. And it looks like that's exactly what Joran's doing. He knows he can't continue to stream units up into this path here, so he's just setting up his railguns, his AAVs. This is really, really nice positioning, actually. He's got his railguns here, his turret here, and This is going to cover this entire area, and if he just leaves these AAVs here, that'll prevent any
Push up to that point.
any LAVs from just coming up here. I don't think he wants to do this. I don't think he wants to move down off of this position, but he is doing it anyway. Now he's got a flank coming in from these LAVs. We want to try to push.
Smoke screen out. Strike craft.
Big shots! Oh my! Those were extremely good mortar shots. Look at that! Crazy amounts of damage. And that totally cleaned this up. This was a very good engagement from Tren. I feel like Joran should have just left his railguns up here, built a few more, and kind of brought his LAVs around this side into the back.
Armored vehicle.
But as it looks, he's pushed Tren back a little bit, buying himself a bit more time. But he keeps pushing in. I don't think he should be doing this.
Weapon systems online.
Now, I do say that, I sound critical, but Joran is a very good player. He's better than I am. He's beaten me many times. But we've got Tren coming in for a backstab here. This is looking really good. He's going to be able to do some serious economic damage. Now, Joran spots this. He's got 3 AAVs just built. This is going to be able to shut this down nicely. And Tren is going to try and snipe a support cruiser, but he spots these AAVs. He knows that's not going to happen, so he's bringing his LAVs back here. Probably going to try and kick a couple of salvagers. Now I see why Joran was streaming out units. He was basically trying to keep Tren back while he took his 3rd expansion site, so that was pretty good.
Position authenticated.
But now Tren looking very dominant. Look at these railguns. He's got so many railguns here. He's got a support cruiser in front. I really like this. This is going to help these railguns stay in the fight due to their increased armor and the healing ability from the support cruiser. It's going to help them just stay in the fight for longer. And now we have another big fight here brewing. But again, this is just too few units streaming up little by little onto this position here. Now Tren was able to take that support, or that turret down. Now he's just picking off these railguns one by one. More mortar shots. I gotta say, Tren is looking very strong in this game. He's had to pull his LAVs back. We've got these AAVs protecting the right flank of Joran. Now Joran is streaming in another batch of LAVs. But with these AAVs and these missile batteries here, this is not going to work. I think Joran knows that as he's pulling back. Now in terms of economy, Joran is now mining from 3 locations where Tren is mining from 2. But look at this. Tren knows that he has his dominant force positioned here, and this is preventing Joran from moving out, so now he's built 2 base runners. Now these base runners are going to try and grab 2 more artifacts, giving him a 4-0 lead. If he can do that, he's going to look in a very strong position. Now it looks like Tren knows that he needs to keep pace economically with Joran, so he's now sending out a support cruiser and a couple of salvagers to start mining off of this 3rd location. He's positioned his carrier in between these 2. And this is nice. He's got his LAVs over here, protecting from any backstabs. And it looks like Joran feels confident enough to push out now. He has railguns, he has AAVs. He's screening with his LAVs.
Be advised, enemy support vehicle authenticated. Light attack vehicles under fire.
Those mortars are just devastating to LAVs. That was some nice shots. Now Tren's going to be able to deliver these 2 artifacts if Joran's not careful. A very nice targeting jammer. That's what we want to see. That's preventing all these units from firing. It's forcing them back, and they're just getting pummeled by railgun fire. This is how you want to play Soban. I feel like if Tren wanted to, he could even place a few armed logistics modules. It does have level 3 power, and each power level that you shunt not only increases the range, rate of fire, and damage of the armed logistics module itself, but also the range that you deploy it at. So you can have your carrier back here, and with level 3, level 4, level 5, you can place them very far across the map. So if he wanted to, he could just place a couple right here, and that would be very, very nice. It looks like Tren is now about to have a 4-0 lead for artifacts. Tren has looked very dominant in this game, I have to say. He's got very nice positioning, and I really, really like this forward support cruiser. This is going to provide a little bit of anti-air in case Joran decides to go for a bit of an air tech switch. And now we have a battle cruiser on the field as well. I feel like this battle cruiser is just going to solidify this dominant position that his army is in. Joran will not be able to push in here at all. feel like Tren has just got a lot of momentum in this game.
Hold here.
He's looking very strong. Just needs one more artifact to seal the deal.
We're clear to proceed.
Fortunately for Joran, he was
Online.
never really able
Proceed to rally point. Secure location
to just
marked. We
gain a
have
foothold here.
insufficiency used.
He had a very strong early game,
Research completed.
but he was just never able to secure this position. I feel like he fought a lot to get this position, and that's kind of what didn't work for him. And then he kind of just lost his
Railgun operational.
military
Let's
units
roll out.
piecemeal as they moved in little by little. Now he's placed his carrier here. I do like this. Joran has brought his carrier forward, and he's going to begin rallying railguns up onto this high ground, I feel like.
Enemy armor on approach.
And he's going to try and prevent
Authentication
Tren from
Hostile
dealing
forces are
any
attempting to
more
extract an
damage
artifact.
to his army.
Carrier is
He's in a
taking
pretty
fire.
good spot here. His
Post is under
carrier
fire.
can just tank endless damage, but Tren knows he's out of position, and now Tren is moving in. He's going to move in for the kill here, and Joran just has nothing on this side. Look at this micro from Tren. LAVs in the back door, AAVs in the front door, railguns providing covering fire, preventing Joran from coming in here, coming in here. Tren is just super dominant this game, and I'd say it's very, very good play.
Immediate fire support on that.
Again, Joran is an extremely skilled player. I just feel like he was never able to gain a foothold.
Alert, support cruiser lost.
And it looks like Tren is going to pick up the 5th artifact, but Joran knows it's over and he GG's, taps out. Very good win. Good play by both players. I enjoyed that game quite thoroughly. I hope you guys did as well, and I will see you next time.